of
I don't know.
constantly covering our mouths in every screen grab.
It works.
It
If it
works.
works,
Honestly,
work
it's
it.
you gotta emote. You gotta show physical emotion of like what we're gonna
Yes.
be talking about. And I, for one, have a lot to discuss on the business of Instagram verified, Meta verified, changing your creator account, or actually changing your personal account to a creator account or a business account, because I think that whole realm is made super confusing on purpose. And you are Meta verified, right? Or Instagram verified.
I'm not. I was, but
You
I'm not
were.
anymore.
And
Yeah,
did you pay for it when you did have it?
I did.
Okay. Well, I mean, to get the organic one, they require you to be like on TV as like a main star at this point.
I have a lot of beef with that.
What's your
I,
beef? What's your initial beef
well,
with
okay,
it?
yeah. So I'll give a short history of my verification. Um, yeah, like a lot of people that before you could ever pay for it, a lot of
Yeah.
people were like, "Hey, Latasha, you should get verified
Right.
because I get, or at least I got, definitely like during 2020,
Mhm.
2021, I would get so many like scammers, like impersonation accounts.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying like, oh my gosh, I'm so famous. I think they target like the making money niche
Yeah.
creators because it's like, oh, if I say I'm Latasha, I can help you get a six-figure client tomorrow, and I just ask you for $500. Like
Right.
it's a lot more easy to scam those people than like a lifestyle creator, you know?
Right.
So I would get so many. Like honestly, it was really, really bad. I would get screenshots all the time. I had this guy
Mhm.
telling me he did end up like sending this chick like $500, which,
Oh,
you know, that was on him
right.
also. But I it made me feel really bad. You know, no one wants
So
their
somebody
name to
was
be spit out.
impersonating you, asked essentially for $500, and somebody sent it to them. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, they would be like, "Hey, I can get you into this business, whatever, business
Yeah, like
deal
or
or
course sale
yeah,
maybe or something like that, I guess. Or
exactly. Just like Bitcoin me or whatever, weird
mhm.
stuff. Payoneer, I don't know, like weird websites." So, I got really concerned about it and I was like posting on Instagram what I do to stop this. And everyone was like, "You need to apply for verification so at least they can see who the real you is."
Yeah.
Will the real Slim Shady please stand up? You know?
Well,
I just wanted to stand up.
I
And
just wanted to stand up.
and like I looked through the rules, so what Ryan was just talking about, like I looked through all
Mhm.
the qualifications and on paper I fit them all because it was like again, this is years ago before they had the paid,
Mhm.
but it was like, you have to have 2 to 3 press articles about you.
Mhm.
Um, I'm sorry, does Forbes not count? Does Business Insider not count? Does Our Detroit magazine, like all of these, like, real
Major
publications,
publications, right.
yeah, that are like the Forbes one, like had both of them had like my face as the header. It wasn't just like a small mention. They were
No,
like
like you were like
articles.
one of the big features.
Yeah. And some other things I don't really remember like
Mhm.
what the other, but I fit all of them on paper, but I would always get rejected.
Oh,
And what you're saying, I think it's like the unspoken rule of like they just don't want like internet people. They want like
right.
TV, celebrity, music, whatever to be approved for it the old school way.
Right,
So,
like, Google tells me I'm an internet personality
right?
specifically, but you know what? Instagram's like, "You ain't nothing."
Yep. You know what?
You are
I've got a famous birthdays page, okay? So, Instagram can, yeah, go where. But
Um, yeah, so then you ended up I believe the story goes that you ended up paying for the verification when that option did open up, which I think a lot of people did. Like, I mean, like,
yeah.
hey, like I can show at least that I'm taking this seriously, especially for you being a business account. And I'm sure like from your heart having the issue where somebody um,
Yeah.
ended up losing money on it, even though it wasn't your fault by any means,
Yeah.
uh, would probably kind of push you to want to do it. But then you took it off or like you
Mhm.
stopped. Why
Yeah.
did you stop?
Ooh.
Give
Yeah,
the
no,
tea early.
yeah, I signed up honestly, like, yeah, I felt like it kind of was a responsibility in some ways. Like I said,
Yeah.
I just was like, let me do everything I can to protect my audience so they can
Mhm.
know it's me. And then also like Meta, I think they said you get access to priority support or something, like not a
Yeah, I
direct
remember
quote,
that.
but
Yeah, I remember that being one of the big
yeah,
offerings.
yep. And I was like, well, since I'm, you know, not only a content creator, but I also help other people with their marketing. And sometimes we run
Mhm.
into like, weird stuff with
Yeah.
ads or
Oh,
whatever
trust me.
stuff with
Yes.
them.
Always issues
Yeah.
with ads.
Yeah. It was like how much does it cost? Like $20 or
Yeah,
something?
it's like 16 or $20, one
Yeah.
in that range.
Yep. So I was like, yeah, that's a good business expense. Not again, not just for me as a content creator, but for like my business
It's worth
clients
it.
as well. Yep.
Yeah.
But I mean, listen, I feel like I'm always just like ranting and being negative on this podcast.
No, you're being real. I feel like there's so much of this realm that is such a facade. I mean,
Yeah.
one personal thing that gets me is when people talk about revenue and they say they're like an Etsy seller, making everyone thinking that like, oh, I could accomplish my dreams if I could just sell on Etsy. Meanwhile, they don't talk about their actual profit.
Yeah.
They share revenue, but then their
Right.
overhead is maybe only like 5% of profit
Yeah.
on after that because they
Yeah.
buy expensive boxes and expensive gifts. It's like I want people to be more real. So I
Yeah.
just think you're being real.
Thank you. Well, I guess that's where the confessions come in. So my
Right.
confession is that, love you Instagram, but I just didn't see any benefit from it.
Yeah.
I didn't yeah, that's the short answer is like I felt like my when I did have support requests, they were
Yeah.
not answered. I actually had a couple of imposter accounts that I reported that were like really bad. Again, they were doing really weird stuff and
Yeah.
they my reject or like my complaint got rejected. So those pages were able to stay up. And I'm like, I'm verified. I'm paying you for this extra support and you're
I
letting
am
these fraud
Latasha James, the
Yeah.
creator, the freelance creator.
Yeah. Like what's the
Like,
point?
what are you talking about? How are you not getting rid of these? I report,
Yeah.
not gonna lie, I got a couple of fake accounts
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
A little
You made it.
humble I made
Right.
it. And yeah, they're constantly I report them probably once like a quarter. Cause some of
Yeah.
them one of them like I just checked it and one actually started posting all of my recent stuff. Like it had like 6 videos. I mean they were getting decent views. So I was like, hey.
So annoying.
And no, I was like, hey, but you constantly report it and they don't get rid of
Yep.
it.
I
Because it's probably a
know.
real person. Like
Yeah.
doing like just doing their thing. They're like, well, their name has a 3 on the end. That's very different than yours. Be like, is
Yeah.
it?
I know.
But no, I'm really happy that you share just open and honest about it because what kind of sparked this conversation too was that I feel like, and again, like love Instagram. You can love the restaurant but hate one of their dishes.
Yeah.
So one dish I think is the verified for me a little bit because I think that did you notice anything with views? I meant
I
to
was
ask
just gonna
before.
say that.
I
I was like,
jumped
I
into
feel
mine.
yeah, no, you're good. And I was like, this is where I'm gonna hand it off because I feel like you're
Yeah,
gonna have a lot to say about this.
so
But
much.
I did like, I mean, I don't so for those who are listening and don't like really know my content or Ryan's content or our content super well, like I post a lot less short form video than you do.
Yeah.
Like I more use Instagram to post like carousels, still images, the occasional reel,
Mhm.
mostly to use stories. Like I use it kind of differently than you do.
You
You
do.
use your Instagram almost like how I use my YouTube, like your
Right.
broadcast platform. And so I guess like it's hard for me to really say like you're always like quoting like exact stats and stuff on your views on reels. I'm like, I don't know how much like so I can't give like specific precise data, but I
Right.
do feel like my engagement overall went down.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because of the verification or if it's just the timing, because I feel like at that time, a lot of people were reporting lower reach in
Mhm.
general on Instagram. So it's like, I don't know if they were related, but I do kind of have this like conspiracy. And I think you've kind of maybe talked about it before. It's like when you start paying them, they want you to be like addicted to paying them, you
Right.
know? So I feel like they're like, oh, Latasha can spend $20 a month or whatever. Well, maybe she
Mhm.
can spend $20 a month on boosting her posts now too. And
Right.
maybe she can be
She can
addicted to
it's
being,
growing the small business into an enterprise, which is a
yes,
classic sales model, that
yes,
every business uses. You're the, nurture campaign.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm
where you're
hooked now
nurturing
and
you until you spend more.
yep, exactly. So I do kind of have that like conspiracy in my head of like
Mhm.
I think that's what they were trying to do. And I think that's what we saw with Facebook. For those of us who remember back in the day, like I was managing corporate Facebook pages when
Yep.
organic reach declined. And it's like the only way you could really get seen is pay to play. And that's
Right.
true for Facebook pages still today, by and
And it does,
large.
and it makes sense. Like, I don't blame them per se. I mean, I do blame them for maybe not being as transparent as they probably could, but I don't
Mhm.
blame them for their company to make money. And I think that's where people maybe get things wrong. Is
Yeah.
like they're in it to make money. You are getting to use this for free. I've
Yes.
had the benefit of making a ton of money off of a free platform that
Yeah.
cost me a lot of time,
Yep.
but did not cost me any upfront costs. But yeah, the views thing is a huge one. And I think that there is a lot of truth to that because when you do think about it, let's say, and this is where I was kind of talking earlier about switching to a business account. I have noticed for myself back in the day before creator accounts existed, when I had switched my Instagram that I was growing to a business account, the views went way,
Mhm.
they were abysmal
Yeah.
because they see you as now an entity that's like, oh, you're a business. You're trying to make money off of us. That's the
Yeah.
identifier. Well, if that's the case, we're going to make you pay to play and
Yep.
you're going to have to boost everything. And I want you to know too, I'm going to share something later about all hope is not lost in this case if you do have a business account. But that's why, like, people really, really need to consider if they switch to a business account, be ready to spend.
Yeah.
That's your identifier for whether or not to have a business account. And let me tell you
Mm.
too, Instagram and Facebook are constantly prompting, even myself, to boost. So
Yeah.
essentially, they're prompting you to be a business account. And that's what I think is kind of like, hey,
Yeah.
like, do you want to boost this for $20 and reach a bunch more people? Now you're a business account and now you're in the nurture campaign of someone who might spend more money.
Yes.
Um, and so it
100%.
kind of it makes me a little bit mad. But if you read the blogs, if you go on anything, you'll notice that when anyone makes these changes, like verified or switching to a business account, people unanimously do see a decrease in
Yeah.
organic views.
Yeah.
I do think sometimes it kind of ties in with previous episodes of ours where some people don't know how they got big, like they don't know how they get the reach that they do. They don't understand it,
Mhm.
so they can't replicate it. And I do think there's some truth that some people just simply like make more videos that just don't do as well. Like that could
Yeah.
totally be a case. But there also is it's like why I don't take money for views.
Yeah.
It's like, why would TikTok serve someone's video who's in the creator program that makes
Mhm.
money off of it and therefore they make less money? Why would they serve their video over mine where I get it? I don't charge them anything to show my video. Like it
Right.
just makes sense. And
Yeah.
of course, like a lot of times that person's video just might be that great where they have to show it. But I
Yep.
notice when people join creator accounts, YouTube's the only one where I haven't heard views like dramatically decrease when you
Yeah.
switch to ads or to get
Mm.
money off of it. Like YouTube's the one that actually is like a true feeling partner program, it seems.
Yeah.
If anybody from Instagram and TikTok wants to talk to me about otherwise, I'd love to
Yeah.
hear it. But um yeah, because I noticed too, you went the route of making money from views on Instagram too, didn't you at one point?
I think so. You know what's so
Because
funny
they
about sorry.
always no,
Just made me
they always prompt it. They always are like, "Hey, do you
uh-huh.
wanna make money off Instagram?" And I feel like I've heard even if you didn't, I heard from other people when they did do that, when you start making money from the views, their views go
Yeah.
down again, you
Yes,
know?
I did. It made me laugh because I was like, "Did I?" Because I
Not me knowing you're like the analytics behind your
yeah, I know. I'm like, "What did I do in 2021?" But no, seriously, it's so funny because I guess technically I still do have that turned
Oh,
on.
yeah, I
Like
guess true, yeah. You
and
can turn it
but
on
it
or off per post, isn't it?
oh,
I think
maybe. I
it's
don't
like a per
know.
post thing. It might be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That sounds right, but it's just hilarious because today, like literally 3 days ago, I got my monthly invoice from Instagram.
Mhm.
I'm not joking. One account was 1 cent and the other was 3 cents. So I just always laugh because I'm like, every time I get that, I'm like, I just want to post it and be like, quitting my day job, like to be a full-time influencer. Like,
I just
not
want everyone
to
to
bite
know
the hand
I've
that
made it.
feeds. Yeah, not to sound not grateful, I guess, or but
Yeah.
it's kind of but that aside, in when they first came out with those, like, I think they were called Reels Play bonuses. That
Mhm.
was the one that, like, I signed up for, and that was when they were really trying to, like, fight back hard about TikTok, so this was
Yeah.
probably, like, 2021 or something like that. Those I did remember getting actual, like, at least, like, few $100
Right.
payouts, like, it wasn't, like, a penny.
Well, in the beginning too, that's where I hear a lot of people like for shopping on TikTok. TikTok
Yeah,
shop, their like first product will do really well and then
yeah,
everything else tanks.
yeah.
Like nothing else does well.
Yep, and
Um,
I do remember that with this is my memory's fuzzy because it was a few years ago, but yeah, I remember, like, I think I probably talked to you about it.
no.
When I turned it on, it would, like, do well for a minute, and then it would just, like, plateau, like, they would all plateau, and then if I would turn the monetization off on a second reel, it would do super well. So I was like,
Mhm.
"Well, this isn't fair." Like
Right. I mean, right. It's like, it's not, to me, it's like, it is not fair, but then it's always like, you have to realize they're a business trying to make
Yep.
money. So it's like, they might not get a profit that year if they let every influencer like you get all the views in the world,
Yeah.
versus
Yeah.
balancing it out with like smaller creators. And then on top of that, maybe that leaves more room for the smaller creators, like of
Yeah.
like the people, maybe there's something in the algorithm that says serve a certain percentage to those not in the
Yeah.
creator program because those are probably new people. So there is
Right.
some like positive that can come out of it too.
For sure.
But yeah, I feel like Instagram verified, meta verified kind of ties in with that whole like, what kind of account do you do? I will say for everybody, I switched to creator accounts on both
Mhm.
Instagram and TikTok, and those do not affect views.
Okay.
And I
Interesting.
think those are newer. Those only came around 2 or 3 years ago. And I think that's the reason
Yeah.
because there has to be a different option where like you're like,
Mhm.
yes, I'm not a business per se. I'm not selling anything, but I am like trying to grow on here. And I think that was
Yeah.
like, YouTube again kind of set up to me. YouTube has like the blueprint for working with creators and partners, and I feel like everybody else is just kind of
Yeah.
copying that setup
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah, I think that's a great point because I guess that was a question I wanted to ask you is so
Mhm.
when should people why do these other account types exist then? Because
Right.
surely there's a reason and there's a use case. And I think it's
Yeah.
important to distinguish, like, because we are businesses, like, you are
Mhm.
running a business, but you and, like, Coca-Cola are very different
Right.
in your needs, your budget, all of that. So, like,
Yeah.
I'm guessing if you were consulting Coca-Cola, you wouldn't
Right.
say sign up under a personal account or a creator account, right? Like,
Right.
what benefits does having a business account
Yeah,
bring?
that's like almost like I would say like Coca-Cola is like that person that like that entity that needs a business account straight up
Yeah.
because you need it to run ads and to run campaigns that are built out and you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now,
Mhm.
that's the obvious case, I think. The not so obvious case is an example friend of mine who
Mhm.
actually started growing. They got on TikTok and are now on Instagram too, doing very well. Amazing business, amazing person at what they do.
Yeah.
They make pretty long form videos on TikTok and Instagram too, just like kind of like that set the scene here for the type of content they make. It's a little educational, but very few focus on like beauty and jewelry.
Yeah.
And they started paying to boost their TikToks
Mm.
at the very beginning, like when they maybe had like 2,000 followers. I think there's like a thousand follower minimum you need before you can even do that.
Yeah.
And the content is good and it has a certain audience and it's been working out really well for them actually, to
Yeah.
where since then they've grown their TikTok following to like 75,000 in a few years, and then on
Nice.
Instagram now are building that up. And she is my one case where it's like, yes, I set up the business account, I
Yeah.
pay for the boosting, but it still does well. But I think it's like almost tied in with the content as much of because it's very engaging, it's very beautiful things, it's
Yeah.
longer form, you get more engagement. So if you think about feeding the algorithm, usually the algorithm will probably want to find people similar to your viewers.
Yeah.
It's 100% probably female focused, if not
Mhm.
95. That's a very Having that longer form gives the algorithm more information to find
Yeah.
people just like that. So
Right.
versus short form people, if I make a funny video of me like randomly, I don't know, like doing something silly and
Yeah.
it gets 30 million views, the
Yep.
algorithm does not know a target audience to go after, even if you boost things.
Oh, yeah.
So
That makes
it's
sense.
like, yeah. So to kind of put in perspective, she had a great product 10 years in the jewelry business going into this,
Yep.
or like 8 to 10 years. So she knew what was up. She
Yep.
created good content around beautiful things. And then it was almost like nourished like a plant.
Yeah.
But she was paying to boost things too,
Yeah.
which was, and I even like advised her, I was like, if you already switched to a business account, you gotta just invest. Like,
Yeah.
keep going. And now she's doing great. So it's like,
Nice.
that's my one tip. If you are ready to spend, I would say $100 a month to
Yeah.
start, sure, switch to boosting, but you
Yep.
have to have the content quality. So you can't just be somebody who's making videos about anything. You have to have a
Mhm.
niche, which we talk about
Yeah.
all the time.
Yep.
And then on top of that, be ready to pay. And it could
Gotcha.
work out really well for you. And that supports leads for her business. That does amazing,
Yep.
and like I'm sure there's a realm in that even like it's kind of even similar to what you do, or just in the course kind of realm or educational
Mhm.
realm. I can see that fitting. Um, and yeah, that's like the one case I would think would work. So yeah, I would think the best identifier is if you're ready to invest yourself into
Yeah.
it. And just if your business model's tied to like driving leads.
Mhm.
I think that's a big
Yeah.
one too. Like my business model isn't, so I don't worry
Right.
about that. I don't have to get more than a share. Like my focus is on likes and shares and comments, not
Yep.
leads.
Yeah.
So um
And
I guess that's
therefore engagement is king for you,
and yeah, and I didn't even think about that. I think till just now, because like I
Mhm.
do brand deals and things like that. So like engagement really is it brings
Yeah.
in brand deals. That's what
Yeah.
keeps things.
Right.
So
Interesting.
do you
Yeah.
think? Yeah, I was gonna say like, have you delved in the realm of like boosting things, or just with
No.
like courses and things like that?
No, again, my Instagram is such a terrible example of any of this stuff because I've always just used it as my personal account. You know,
Hmm.
it's been the same account since I started Instagram in like 2013 or whenever it came out. And
Yeah.
so I do the thing like you just said where I don't just post about one thing. Like I'm not just
Hmm.
posting all course type content. I'm also posting pictures at the beach or whatever. And so
Right.
I don't think it's a smart idea to do that, but I have thought about doing that on YouTube,
Hmm.
be like testing out boosting YouTube videos. I've only not tried it because I went to go test it out one day and my ads account was like jacked up for some
That
reason. So
honestly, the back end of these platforms, and this maybe is an
yeah,
additional thing. Be ready to be like
yeah,
hands on with your business,
yep.
because the back ends of these platforms are not as clean as the front ends by any means.
No, not at all. Yeah. So yeah, I was going to just like test out running a YouTube ad because I'm like, well, that's where the majority of my audience is. That's where I have all my data. I'm pretty niched in, or at least have like
Mhm.
playlists and stuff that are niche on YouTube. I should be really doubling down on YouTube. But yeah, I went in and something was weird and then I just never revisited it. So maybe I'll do that and report back and
Yeah,
see because I have seen some creators do that where it's basically the same as like a boost on Instagram.
yeah.
You can do that with your YouTube videos.
Yeah, and then even for you, I mean, to give people context of like the strategy here, you could then link to one of your courses if the
Mhm.
YouTube title is specifically about one of your courses.
Yeah.
Um, and then
What I
people
would
would obviously
probably
watch it.
Yeah, what I would probably do is use it as part of a free funnel. So like
Oh,
offer
there
a
we go too.
freebie. That's a that's how I have built my email list to like 40,000 subscribers is
Mm,
literally just a link in my description box on YouTube to a freebie. And so if I wanted a big boost in that to increase that number, yeah, get in front of new eyeballs who download that lead magnet and then go into my email sequence and that's where I actually sell.
right.
So yeah, I need to do that and try it and see what
Honestly,
happens.
yeah, I would. I didn't even think about. I honestly forget about YouTube in the sense of like outside of like generic video ads.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
yeah, for the creator side of things, I think the whole paid space is really, that could almost be a different like tier for people to like think about
Yeah.
considering. I think in the
Yep.
creator space, which is not talked about as much, um, because it can be there's some really big benefits. But if you're
Yeah.
not ready to, there can be some really big setbacks. I think is really
Yeah.
like the end all be all of it.
I think there's also maybe a little bit of stigma to it, if you will.
Yeah.
Like, and that's honestly for me, I would say I have like a self-imposed stigma against it in some ways because I'm like, I feel somewhat proud to be able to say I've built my audience like 99.9% organically. Like I think I've
Hmm.
probably run less than $1,000 in like Facebook ads over the course of like 10 years. So
Yeah.
I think that there is like a benefit to that in some way, but I think there's a misunderstanding of what paid means. Like
Hmm.
running an ad does not mean you're getting bot views. Like that
Right.
is a very different thing. Like I would never do that, and I'm sure you would advise people to never pay for like fake views, fake
Never do the
yeah.
fake likes.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
It's
Don't ever do it.
now if we want to talk about a trap, that's a trap and I follow some people not to put anyone on blast, but I see they're clearly buying
Yes.
likes, and it's like they have to do it for every post. Otherwise, it looks weird if one of your posts gets like
Right.
1,600
It's
likes
too
and then
much
the
to
other one
keep
gets
up
like
with,
40.
and then
Yeah.
your audience is tainted. It's
Yeah.
completely tainted. You don't
Yep.
want it. And I was gonna say, like, I mean, to you growing organically, that's the perfect person to use paid because
Yeah.
you spent all the energy to grow and nurture the right audience and
Yeah.
know what people want, and then you do it. And you can
Yeah.
do it in high quality ad versus being someone who doesn't know anything about what they want and they're just
Yep.
being like, hey,
Yeah.
buy my product.
For sure. So yeah, I think yeah, that's it's just an important distinction to make, and how I always explain it to like, my students and my clients is like one of the biggest benefits of paid ads is that you're able to reach a targeted audience.
Right.
So as opposed to just like shouting out into the ether and hoping the algorithms, help you find your person. Like you said, you
Mhm.
can target by demographics or location or,
Niche
whatever.
Pinterest. It's
Yeah.
crazy, people. You have no idea what audience targeting is available. It is
Yeah.
very specific. And if you know your audience really well, like for example, let's say you do promote like a jewelry brand and
Yeah.
you know that jewelry is expensive. You know, it's
Yeah.
predominantly right now, if you make stuff specifically for women or whoever
Yeah.
identifies as a woman,
Yeah.
then you have a super niche audience that you know exactly what to target with because you are
Yep.
high end shoppers, women in maybe they're like 25 to 50.
Yeah,
Like you
exactly.
can really nail it down at that level, which is
Yep.
even like saying it. I hope people are not like, whoa, he is like all about campaigns. But that's kind of like, that's the reality of back end
Yeah.
advertising is a lot of it is very niche, gritty, kind of like people are their personas. It's
Yeah.
geo targeted. It's demographically targeted.
Yeah.
There's a lot
And
that goes into it.
yeah, and not to like go down a tangent or a side quest here, but like
Mhm.
we've talked about brand deals before and paid usage rights. Like
Right.
this is what we're talking about. Like we're talking about as a creator, you can run ads or boost your posts to, increase your audience.
Mhm.
Well, brands, when they essentially license your content, they can do the same thing,
Right.
like in paid usage. And I think brands are silly not to be doing that, not to be writing that in, because that's really where they can really
Yeah.
hone in on that target audience with that very specific custom message and the nice call to action that they've approved and like
Mhm.
actually give it legs as opposed to just being like a cute, you know, picture in your feed.
Right. I actually what's funny that you say that is I actually always push people. I'm like, "Are you" I'll be, like, emailing them and, like, trying to give the tone of, like, "Are you sure you would not like to pay extra for paid
Yeah.
usage rights? Like, I know it's extra,
Yeah.
but if the video does really well, I feel like you're gonna wish you would have done
Yeah.
paid usage." Right?
Yep.
So I always try to even, like, even if they only did it for a little bit, in the scheme of things. But it's like it's almost like just using influencers. I think for businesses is already new. That to be like we
Yeah.
want to use influencers and then we want to use money to promote them. The
Yep.
like top managers are like, what?
Yeah.
Who have never worked with influencers or anything are like, no, we can't do
Yeah.
that.
Well, you mentioned if the video does well, but I also say if the video doesn't do well in
Oh
some
yes,
because there I always hate like leaning on the algorithm, but like no,
yeah,
really, I think the algorithm doesn't like when you do brand deals. I'm
no,
convinced of it, at least on like, Instagram and TikTok,
Hmm.
it's embarrassing. I'll
Yeah.
have like an average of whatever, let's just pretend like 500 likes per post. And then you do a brand deal and it's like I'm struggling to get like 50.
Right.
And nothing's different about the content except for that it says paid partnership. And I think, if brands do paid usage rights, that can help
Hmm.
kind of break through some of that. Because
Yeah.
again, I think it's like Instagram sees, oh, this person's getting paid, this brand that she's promoting has money to pay her. Well, we want a cut of
Hmm.
that. So pay up, like boost this
Right.
post to get seen in the algorithm now too.
Your brand deals? Okay, you gotta pay.
Yeah.
No, so I actually have. That's actually really interesting that you called it out. So I think that there's a 50-50 realm here
Mhm.
because what used to happen in a typical brand deal for me is that on TikTok, I would mark paid. On Instagram, I'd mark paid. Let's say I'm doing the same video across both.
Mhm.
TikTok used to, because of a
Yeah.
new thing I want to share, be like next to nothing. Like
Yeah.
my typical views on TikTok are like 50 to 100K, or let's say like
Yeah.
40 to 100. These ones would get like 1,500 views.
Yep.
And like the engagement's still good. So I know that it's like, it's not so much
Yeah.
that as much as it's like, oh, it's purely just the issues there. And like
Yep.
Latasha said, like that's a great op to like have to boost it because some brands you just might need it. What's really funny though is that on Instagram, I thought that would be the same case, but the brands, and there's a two prong here.
Mhm.
One, if I'm able to make a video that represents my style and is funny and has good energy, and then mentions a brand, like
Yeah.
naturally integrates it into some kind of event or something, it
Yeah.
does amazing. I even had one, actually, yeah, one that kind of broke this idea for me. Um, I did a series and all of them got like 30,000 views. And I was like, whoa, like in this
Yeah.
like marked paid. And I even have to put a hashtag ad in it, which
Right.
probably throws off the algorithm a little bit too. That's
Right.
crazy. And then TikTok just recently, which by the way, everyone, something's going to happen with TikTok to where like if you want the opportunity to be a content creator, it's going to come. Just as a heads up
Mm.
for everybody, because when things start shifting at a colossal scale, that's the time where people can get the max amount of growth. Just want to
Yeah.
note that. And we'll see what happens with TikTok and what that all plays out. But I recently posted a TikTok that I marked paid,
Yeah.
that had to put a hashtag ad in, and it got like 140,000 views and amazing
Wow.
engagement. And so I
Yeah.
said, oh my
Interesting.
gosh, I think there's literally an on off switch here that happened to where
Mm.
they said, just like Instagram, okay, I guess we can let people, if the video's
Yeah.
good, we'll let them do good.
Yeah.
But second prong to back you up is a lot of times when you do market, I think there is low key, like almost like a higher expectation. And I think
Yeah.
that sometimes when you have to work the brand deal, let's say even information into a video, or in my case, maybe be a bit more informative than
Yeah.
fun,
Right.
then it naturally kind of maybe just doesn't do as well. Like even
Yeah.
let's say if it doesn't do like 5% as well,
Mhm.
then the algorithm's like, okay, our expectations were high and you did not maybe come through as much.
Yeah.
And so we are not going to boost it as much. So I think there's like a lot that goes into it. But I do think that there is, when you mark something paid, there's a higher expectation, I
Yeah.
think, that comes with it too. In
Yeah,
the
for sure.
algorithm's eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know, I think it's smart for brands to at least have the option
Yeah.
to where if it seems like it's underperforming for whatever reason, if it's an algorithm thing, they can boost it. Or like you said, if it's performing really well and they want to like keep reusing that
Hmm.
to, further grow, then they have that option too.
And as creators too, to kind of help everyone listening like back themselves up. Let's say you make a video and it doesn't do as well. I would use that maybe even as an opportunity to maybe even get more money, or to maybe just do well by them, to maybe make them a recurring customer, is
Yeah.
to say, hey, I know it maybe didn't do as well as we had hoped. I'm noticing the engagement's pretty good. How would you feel about just tacking on? I know I originally quoted you 1,000 for paid usage rights. Would
Yeah.
you want to tack it on for like 500, and then you can use the other 500 to boost it?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
almost, because some of these businesses don't know digital marketing. They're not super savvy in it, maybe.
Yeah.
And if they did think about that, then that's you showing that you're savvy in it.
Yeah.
So that's an option too, of like using that almost as something. What do they call it? Like something
Like an
token that you
upsell?
can like,
Uh,
yeah, like
Oh, yeah.
upsell token that you can use in this brand deal to kind of like rework
Yeah.
things. If for any reason, let's say your video doesn't do as well. And if it does
Right.
super well, that's also your chance to upsell to
Yeah.
say, hey, this did amazing. And maybe I need to even practice that. Do you want to boost it more? You know,
Yep. For
things like
sure.
that. So there's a lot of opportunity there.
Don't take this as like a blanket, do not verify or do not whatever. I think like anything, it's all about assessing your unique needs. And
Yeah.
yeah, large corporations or even just like very serious businesses that are lead gen focused, not as much views focused. Like even Ryan and my business are very different.
Yeah.
You are a lot more engagement focused, whereas I am more about kind of finding that right person,
Mm,
less broad appeal. So, you have to weigh things out. Maybe it would make sense for me to verify and not worry so much about like the potential stifling of engagement. But it
right.
really is, you have to go with your
Honestly,
own
I'm excited for this
situation.
realm for you because I mean, maybe that is the something we learn is like the next opportunity to scale
Yeah.
businesses as maybe like a solopreneur or just people with smaller teams of like,
Yeah.
oh, maybe or maybe it gets to a point where you do have to be paid after you put in you know, the work to build up organically.
Yeah.
I mean, even with things like email list, website traffic, these are all things having a good quality audience that is not paid for at all.
Yeah.
I know some people, I know it's so enticing. I just want to go back as a closeout point. I know it's
Yeah.
enticing to maybe pay for engagement.
Mhm.
Do not do
Yeah.
it. Because one, you might get sued
Yeah.
in brand deal contracts. They list that out usually and say if you did at any point pay for anything, then we're going to find out.
Yeah.
Or like, we could find out and we're not going to have it or what have you, obviously. And the other side of things is just don't be afraid to grow organically because then when it does come time to switch and pay for things, it's going to
Mhm.
benefit you that much more. As someone who has seen it from the very end of the pipeline with these big businesses, that maybe starting off well is
Yeah.
just really important. So,
Yeah. I maybe this is another episode at some point, but I feel very strongly about the fake, engagement thing. It's
yeah,
it's honestly it's fraud. It's not good for the brands. It's also
no,
very unfair to other creators like us who are trying to build the organic way and people get
right.
picked for brand deals over us because they have more views, more followers, but they're all fake.
Mhm.
It's like honestly such a slap in the face. So please don't do that.
It is. And if you ever want to see if somebody is using that, this is not 100% guaranteed, but maybe you're like feeling some type of way about a different creator. And you're like, oh, I wish I had that. Look at
Yeah.
their comments. And if it's a bunch of two emoji comments,
Yep.
like heart, heart,
Yeah.
like anything,
Yep.
that's usually the paid for ones.
Yeah, yeah, or where they're getting like thousands of likes, but they have like two comments. It's kind of like,
Right.
that's not tracking. So
Yeah, like and it's funny to me that some people think that like it looks okay to have like 2,000
yeah,
likes and maybe only like a few comments. You're like that does not make sense.
yeah,
There's
for
no
sure.
conversations being had yet it's very engaging.
Yeah,
But yeah, so
it's a good
just know,
reminder to not compare
yeah.
though,
Yes, I think it
or to
ties in
not
with
feel bad
like,
about it.
yeah, we've done a whole YouTube thing about really showing our hearts on our sleeves of like comparison and things like that. So
Yeah,
just want to tie into that a little bit too.
yeah,
But yeah, if you like this episode and have anything else questions wise you have for us, feel free to give us a comment. We've been loving going into the comments and just seeing everyone's. I just love YouTube comments, I think
yeah,
specifically because they're like paragraphs and you can
yes,
like you get involved with whoever is saying what, and I feel like I know people's stories a little bit better from YouTube comments.
yeah.
Um,
We have just an awesome, wonderful audience. I seriously, everybody that I have met recently out in the wild has been like, I love your second podcast with Ryan. Like
really? Oh,
yeah,
cool.
that's what people always bring up, which is so funny because it's like, the smallest platform here that I've
Yeah.
got. We're very much building. But I
Yes.
think that really speaks to, I don't know, our audience and
And the
us, I
purpose of it
guess,
too,
and
I
what it's
think
all
too,
about.
right?
Yeah.
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 I think what it's all about, I feel like it's us trying to help everyone out in the big world of digital marketing and
Yes.
content creation. So that more of
Yeah.
you take the
Yeah.
leap and or
Yeah.
more of you are just more successful at it.
Yeah. For sure.
Um but yeah, leave us a review on the podcast if you're listening and on any of the lovely listening platforms. and subscribe, follow, you know what to do. And we'll see you
Yeah.
in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.